Alright, so these are my 4 infographics that I have made over the 4 different readings that we had to do. And I entitled this Segregation of Academic Students. The first one right here I entitled The Future's in Their Hands. This one mostly talks about how the higher achieving students, they are the ones that are going to be more successful later on in life. They're going to be the ones developing cures, inspiring works, and improving the general life of all Americans. It also went on to talk about that the classroom teachers are overburdened and it's difficult for them to make the assignments different so that the underachieving students understand and the higher achieving students also understand and are getting that extra level to become better and go further in their learning. And in a survey, actually 81% of teachers said that struggling students are the ones that are most likely getting the one-on-one attention. So those higher achieving students aren't getting the attention that the underachieving students are, so therefore they aren't able to continue and further their education even more. So at the end of it, it basically said that getting rid of the gifted program is a disservice to higher achieving students. And I also wanted to include that funding for the gifted education program has declined from $11.25 million in 2002 to $5 million in 2014. That is something I didn't include in my infographic, but is definitely very important and I will probably be using in my essay. So that is less than 1% of the federal K-12 spending in that year. So that's a lot of decrease. Alright, the next reading I entitled Providing Every Child with Excellent Education. And I took a quote out of this one. The blacks need neither segregated schools nor mixed schools. What they need is an education. And in this essay, I felt like it was focused a lot on students becoming higher achieving and higher learners, but I also felt like it was focused a lot on ethnicities. And I really like that quote, not because it's talking about an ethnicity, but because it's saying that you don't need to focus on what the schools are looking like, it's what education they are getting. So a case study was taken and it showed that low achieving students perform better and high achieving students perform no worse when all students were exposed to a high level of curriculum. Now, I think that's really good that the lower achieving students didn't perform worse, that they actually did better. But it's still talking about the higher achieving students. They didn't perform any worse, but it didn't say that they advanced any more. And then it also went on to say that 5 years after an accelerated curriculum for all students at Rockville Central High, the pass rate rose from 32 Latino and Black students and 88 for white and Asian to 92 and 98%. Now, the 88 for white and Asian students, it doesn't seem like it's going up a lot, but it actually is. That's quite a big jump, 10% more. And the Latino and the Black is a significant jump. And then, I also put, to end this off, what is critical is exposing every child to a high-quality curriculum that teaches them to synthesize and fuse together information into big ideas with encouraging teachers. And a really big main point I want to point out there is that it says encouraging teachers. The teachers need to be there for them to help them get better. And that exposing them with the higher quality curriculum makes them work harder. They're expected more out of them because there's more to do there. Alright, moving on. Alright, in our third reading, I titled this Tracking Students because it constantly talked about tracking. So, and it showed that high ability students benefit the most from high ability peers. So, if we're talking about learning versus athletics, there is some of the top ski coaches saying that having a few strong athletes to lead a group is good, but the group breaks down with too much variation. So if we're comparing that, having a few strong students in one class, high achieving students, will help the whole entire class perform more, because those students can help and help the other students catch up to their level or become better learners. But if there's too much difference, there's not enough high achieving students and not enough low achieving students, it's going to break down, because they're not going to understand each other, they're not going to understand the same things, and then nobody's going to be making sense. And the research suggests that marginal students admitted to the gifted programs did not see increased test scores. But students that were put in by lottery into the gifted program had higher science scores, which I thought was kind of interesting, the difference there. Just showing that, it's not necessarily that they're not smart enough to be there. Alright. Going on to the next one. This is our final one. And it's "You get what you put in." And this article actually was titled "Why Geniuses Don't Need Gifted Education." And I really liked that one, but I wanted to put my own because I really felt that this title fit this. So there was a man placed in the Genetic Studies of Genius program. And that study followed him throughout high school. He was a high achieving student, and it followed him into his career path. And it saw that more successful people with higher salaries than his own town than him that weren't in those programs. Alright? And many experts even admit that a lot of our gifted programs at the moment don't add much. They don't add up to much. But what they also go on to say in here is that if we give awkward geniuses a safe place to be weird, it stops the bullying of all the kids. And we can get that by a gifted program. Now that is what it's saying. I don't know if I quite believe that. I still think that that's bullying. I don't know how I quite want to relate that. But it's giving kids a chance to be themselves without being afraid of other kids that don't have the same kind of basic ideas as them. And I think that's what was trying to be explained here. Goes on to talk about how the founder of Amazon.com and the owner of a newspaper graduated from a typical American high school where he found lots to do without having a gifted program. He is a very successful man. And he wasn't in a gifted program in high school. And he said that he found plenty of things to do. So it just goes on to show that even if you're not in a gifted program, you can still be successful. And then at the end, I put a quote in here from the article, and it's, "All schools can do is give them what they ask for and get out of the way." And that's mainly what the title of this one is based off of, is that schools are going to give you what they can and what they've been told to teach, their curriculum, and then they're going to get out of your way and let you go with it, see where you take it, see how you develop and become as a learner. Okay, so those were my 4 infographics that I gave, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Have a great day.